So if I ask you who the biggest diva quarterback is in the NFL, who would that be?
What, right now?
Yeah, right now, today.
Ooh, okay, wait a second. The biggest diva in the NFL. Oh, shit, that's easy. Aaron Rodgers, I'm sorry.
All right, guys, welcome to Fully Loaded. Thank you so much for subscribing, sharing, your support. I know that I appreciate it. I know how much Chris appreciates it. So welcome to another episode.
Man, are we creating any momentum, man?
Dude, we're creating
This stuff
Let me explain something to you. Let me give you some idea, okay? So I'll give you an idea about momentum. So I've gotten, when you look at what's happened on YouTube, you look at the amount of subscribers as fast as we've gotten them, we were creating a significant amount of momentum, significant amount of love. And also, I like to read and figure out what people are thinking. I love that people are saying it's different information. I love that they're saying it's information they want to know about. They're entertained as well.
Okay.
They miss hearing from you.
Yep.
So now you're back, so it's been unbelievable.
That.
So we're back at another episode. We have some amazing guests coming in soon.
Yep.
We're really excited about that.
Yep.
Gonna blow your
Very
minds.
exciting.
Yeah, we're gonna have some great shows. So, but we're gonna jump right into it with something that to me was confusing, and I know you'll shed a ton of light on it for all of us. Tua played at Alabama, and I thought, like, man, Saban seemed to be pretty. I thought like a hard ass. I don't know him, but I didn't play for him. But it seemed like he was pretty militaristic and ran it hard. And he was talking this week about Flores, his previous coach, and he was talking about on his pod. But he said hearing him talk about him the way he did, and he called Flores a terrible person. Straight up, it's like he's just a terrible person. And then Flores, said, hey, listen, I like that hurt and didn't really know all that, but I'll try to get better. And then some of his players stood by his side and were like, man, he coach been good to us. I'm thinking, I'm confused. You played there. It's been hardcore. What is the deal between Tua and Coach Flores?
Well, first of all, I think that it's really hard to assume like who Nick Saban is day to day and compared to the relationship he has with his players.
Got it.
I'll use two profiles before we start. The profile of Bill Belichick, as we saw now with the roast and Tom Brady, no one loved Belichick.
True.
Okay?
Yeah, that's
all
true.
right. Now, you have seen Nick Saban at the NFL draft the last 20 years, first rounder. He's made kids millions and millions of dollars, and you haven't heard one kid come back and say, Nick mistreated me. Like, it might have been hard, but Nick and I talked about me working for his staff a number of years ago, joining Alabama. And it didn't work out. I was at ESPN. I was happy to stay there. And very, very flattered that he wanted me to be part of the organization. But he's harder on his coaches than he is on the players.
Got it.
Like, he has rules, and he talks about the process, but he has great empathy and understanding. Like, you can go to Alabama and get into some stuff, and Nick Saban's not going to throw you out to the trash.
Got it.
Like, he is in it long term. He is a coach's coach. But his players, the soft touch he has, and a lot of times you don't see Nick. When the players are stretching, Nick goes around and says little things, and he's got a more inviting personality than Belichick, so the players know they can go to him more.
They built genuine relationships.
Yes.
Like genuine.
Yes, and in that age bracket, that was his sweet spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's nice to even see him still involved in college football because he's such a genius about the game. But he had a soft touch. Now, earlier in his career, he didn't have that touch. And I do believe that Brian Flores is a combination because in Miami, besides Tua, the players loved him.
Right.
And in Tua's last year with Brian Flores, they were 9-4. Tua missed 4 games being injured. They lost all those games. But they were 9-4. So it's we know Brian Flores is a good football coach.
No doubt.
And all the people we talk to, and given my connection in Minnesota, he's defense coordinator for Minnesota. Yep. So I've gotten to know him even more the last couple years, and I know the organization, and I know the head coach there, and the players that I talk to on a regular basis, they really love him. And he brings a certain different energy to the building, and they really do love him. I do believe that he'll be still on that short list of head coaches in the future. Okay. My thing is, especially with football being such a small fraternity, and just like any other business, a lot of times as players, and I understand Tua if he went through something, because he was going through a lot of stuff in Miami. The ownership there, they was trying to trade for Tom or sign Tom Brady. They was trying to sign Sean from the Saints. Come on.
Not the coach?
Yes, Sean Payton. Because they got fined for all this. They lost draft picks. And then a preseason game, ESPN released that the Dolphins were trying to trade for Deshaun Watson. Mm-hmm. And I think that was one of the hardest things that Tua was going through. So, Tua said, Brian Flores, but I know Brian Flores. Now, he, as a first-time head coach, you make some missteps. He probably would go back and tinker something a little bit because you really want to have positive impact on young people's career. But the whole Dolphins as an organization, now Tua, they just gave him $200 million. So Tua didn't include them in there.
Correct.
But that organization, Stephen Ross and them, like a lot of the stuff can be attributed to what the Dolphins were trying to do behind the scenes. And Tua is a good dude, and I think that right now with this new contract and this newfound freedom, I think that him and B-Flow should get together and have a conversation. Because I've been with coaches that I thought, and I went to Ohio State and I got to the pros, it was like I thought all the coaches were going to be better than the ones I had in college, and that's what Tua felt like, probably coming from Alabama. And I know I had a wide receiver coach that in Minnesota when I first got there, he told me he didn't consider me to be a starter. And we had an exchange. It was a rough exchange, and I told him that I didn't respect his opinion, and only two things could happen. Either I'm going to work so hard on the field to convince him, or the team's going to get rid of him because I'm not going nowhere.
Good for you.
And
how'd that work out for
I end up winning that deal.
You won the battle.
Yeah, so he ended up going to the Giants, and we had an encounter on a Monday night where I was the captain of the game. He tried to come down and talk to me, and I really wasn't trying to talk to him and everything. But, I had kept that story, and there's other stories in the NFL that typically, from a family, you just keep them under wraps.
So why didn't Tua keep it under wraps? Why did he decide?
I don't know what it had to do with anything. I don't know how, but unless it's just I respect someone's own truth. Like if he felt like he had to get this out to be able to go to the next level where he is, okay, is something unresolved? Okay, I can understand that, but I don't think that he did himself any favors by doing it, and obviously he didn't do B-Flow any justice by allowing outside people to have the story.
But also, if the majority of the dudes in the Dolphins locker room love Flores, he didn't do himself a favor with his own teammates, right? Or does that not matter? If you're like, dude, that
well, I just think that sometime you get beyond that, and there's certain guys now, and Tua has all those guarantees, got $200 million. It would be like, okay, I'm a chill what I'm gonna say to him because he's got the guaranteed money, and if he drops a dime on me, he dropped a dime on B-Flow. So it'd be like, hey,
be careful.
Yes,
he ain't afraid to go on.
Absolutely.
And talk about me too.
Yes. So
now, am I right in the? Here's my thought with Tua with the Dolphins. Now he's got what he wants. He got his money. Seems to be happy, right? In Miami, he's got a lot of weapons. When does Miami? What is a successful season for Miami this year? What do you think? If you the general manager, you look at what y'all have, schedule, team, what would be deemed successful?
Right. It's always a good season if you win your division.
Okay.
Which in turn, they would be playing a home playoff game.
Can they win their division?
Yes.
Will they win their division?
I think the Jets are the best team in the division.
So you think Jets win that division?
Yes.
If you had to take a team to win the division, you'd bet the Jets?
Yes.
Got it.
I think the Jets are the best team. And regardless of what stories Tua wants to tell, like his storyline doesn't change. Correct. And now the expectations with the contract, I mean, bro, you're a top 10 pick, and then now you're getting $200 million, like a handful of other quarterbacks. Like, the pressure is going to be relentless.
Correct.
And then people move the goal line. So, okay, can he win the division? Oh, okay, can he win on the road in the cold? Oh, okay, can he win against the top teams in the league? Like, those questions have to be answered more so than, hey, what kind of relationship did you have with the previous Dolphins coach? Which there's a lot of quarterbacks in NFL history that when they have a defensive coach, the defensive coach and his approach rubs that quarterback the wrong way. But also, the quarterbacks is the most soft and the biggest divas in NFL locker room, in the history of NFL locker rooms.
And they're allowed to be.
Obviously.
So if you were playing with Tua, you had guaranteed money, what would you it don't matter to you, don't care, you live your life? Or would you be like, yeah?
I mean, I think Tyreek Hill and them are cool with it, and I think Waddle, because they have a great – I would just be trying to concentrate on my opportunity.
That's it. You're going to live your life, do your thing.
Yeah, because that's not going to help us beat the Jets.
Correct.
It's not going to help us beat Buffalo. It's not going to help us win in the playoffs. Like, all it does is create another narrative for people to be able to ask questions. And then now, if there's other players that were on the team then you open up another avenue for a reporter to ask them, well, hey, what kind of relationship did you have with B-Flow?
Well, also, I think he handled – I mean, when you look at his response, it don't get much better than that. Florida, like, hey, man. If he felt that way, my bad. Love to talk to him. There's probably things I need. I think he could have had a much different response.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked by his response.
What did you think his response was?
The one thing, because I know him and he's an intense, very thoughtful guy.
What did you think he would? If you said, if you had heard it Tua say it and hadn't seen his response, what would you have guessed his response would have been?
Well, I thought he would have fired back on him.
You would
based on, and then I started thinking, man, B-Flow still got a lawsuit against the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, he still got stuff against the Dolphins.
Yeah.
So I think that response right there puts him in a better light.
Correct.
Because they're still fighting. But my initial reaction was, oh,
he's going to smoke him.
Man, B-Flow is not about that. And you got to be careful, as a player, because the Dolphins truly were trying to do everything to accommodate Tua. And also, it was a tough time to be drafted. It was COVID. He wasn't spending a lot of time the first year in the building.
Yeah.
So building relationships and everything became very, very tough, adapting. And then I think another part of the story was that the quarterback, Fitzpatrick, with the big beard and everything, he had the team on a winning streak and the team was playing well.
Yeah.
But up top, they said it's time to pull the plug. It's time to put the kid in. So that right there, they took that decision out of B-Flow's hands.
That wasn't his decision.
No, it wasn't his.
He would have ridden with Fitzpatrick.
Because that was the plan from the beginning.
Winning. Yeah.
To groom him, let him play behind a veteran, and the team was playing well. There was no need to make that change. So there was a lot of other things going on with the Dolphins that Tua didn't talk about.
So if I ask you who the biggest diva quarterback is in the NFL, who would that be?
What, right now?
Yeah, right now, today.
Ooh, okay, wait a second. The biggest diva in the NFL. What? Oh shit! It's easy. Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry. Jeez, I'm so
forgot
sorry.
about Aaron Rodgers.
Man, I forgot about the whole. I'm so sorry.
He's sorry, Aaron.
Hey.
Why is he the biggest diva?
I mean, for one, because of his seniority.
Yeah.
All right. You can see that the way he forced his hand in Green Bay, the way that he, I'm going to do this, I'm not going to do this. I mean, he's so much like Brett Favre, but not Brett Favre.
Yeah.
And just all the things that, he calls the head coach, I think, Robert, and he does his little interviews and everything. And, his interviews with Pat McAfee, like there's no quarterback in the league that has a deal like that. And even like when Tom Brady was playing, it was amazing that people kind of have these quarterbacks in the same era, and they shouldn't be in the same era.
Correct.
But Aaron Rodgers and what they're going to do with the Jets. And sometimes Diva is not a bad thing.
100%.
Because
100%.
what you can't be is a bad player and be a diva.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a sense of accomplishment that comes with
Correct.
this, and there's a certain amount of maintenance. It's like an exotic car, like your
Right.
cars. And they take a certain amount. Oh, this one right here,
better
you can
believe
ride. If you ride it rough,
Yeah.
it takes more maintenance. This
You
one
better,
right
but
here.
but it performs.
Yes.
But it performs.
And Aaron Rodgers is that guy. But when you look at what he's accomplished on the field, his aura, what he can do, the demands that he can make on a team, that he makes on that
And
team.
he's not afraid to make.
Right, compared to Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, he got 3 Super Bowls. That's 3 times as many as Aaron.
Correct.
He's been to 4, got 3 times
Yeah.
as many wins
Yeah.
as Aaron's won.
Yeah.
And his relationship with the ownership and how they're going to get players and salary and all those things, like they're in a different stratosphere.
Yeah. Got it. All right. I'm a Broncos fan. I love the Broncos, and I'm excited. But I want to ask you if I should be excited. Number one, is Bo Nix being named the starting quarterback the best thing for the Broncos? Or is it the best thing for Bo Nix?
Both.
Okay.
Because the Broncos are truly one of the first class, I'm talking about top to bottom, over the last 40 years
Yeah.
in the NFL. Not only their ownership, how they're seriously committed to winning as far as resources that they put around the team, their facilities, their fan base. Like, they truly are one of the, if there's 10 teams in the NFL that have set out and have set a standard, they're one of those.
I would agree.
So now they go out and they get a top 5 coach in Sean Payton. Sean Payton's one of my favorites.
Okay. He's
He's
that good a coach.
Yes.
Okay.
And his offensive scheme and getting the ball to certain parts of the field is one of a kind. Like, truly one of a kind. And I do believe that he will win in Denver eventually. He will get the pieces that he wants. He'll get the quarterback that can pull the trigger.
Is
But
this guy the guy that can pull the trigger?
I rely on Sean Payton more and where they drafted him, because it might take you going through a few quarterbacks to get the right one. But I do believe that he fits in the system. I like his overall accuracy. I'm concerned a little bit about his timing, though, to get the ball out in time compared to holding on to it, because that's what Sean Payton's, his thing is. Number 1, number 2, number 3, check down, get it out.
Well, that's why it didn't work for Russell Wilson, right?
Well, I think that Russ had played a lot of football and been successful at football, but the type of football that Sean Payton teaches, Russell was not successful at. And I think that there was a personality conflict, and I do believe that if Russell would have taken a pay cut or some concessions last year when Sean Payton and Denver came to him at high, I think they beat Kansas City. Then the team came to him for a pay cut. He decided, no, I'm not going to do that. So now he's going to be starting the season with the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I think that Sean, what he was trying to do long term was kind of bring their cap under control, whack Russell, because he's not the one who signed him to the contract, and eventually find his quarterback of the future.
So do you think, I'm trying to understand you. So you're saying Bo Nix is a good fit for now. You don't know if he's the guy?
Well, they didn't spend the top 10 pick on him.
Got it.
So when you get a guy like him, you got him on a 4-year contract. He can't go anywhere or do anything.
Yeah.
I think he has the skill level, and he had to draft someone. All right, he couldn't get up high enough to go get one of the quarterbacks that he liked, or he didn't have them ranked on his board. Compared to Bo Nix. But Sean Payton cannot be successful. He's not going to win a championship with a defensive-oriented team.
Correct.
Like, I mean, it can be done, but
it's not him.
It's not him.
Yeah.
Like, so I do believe that his influence on the quarterback turns that quarterback, and it's not like Purdy in San Francisco, but it's kind of like that. Is what can the quarterback to fit into the system that this coach? That's why Purdy's successful in San Francisco, Kyle Shanahan, and that's why I believe Bo will be successful with Sean Payton there in Denver.
How do you think Purdy's going to do this year? Is that magic worn off? Is it not? Purdy's a legit star in the NFL.
The reason why he's a star is because the franchise he plays for.
Okay.
He has a perfect fit for the four-headed monster that they have. Debo, Brandon Ayuk, the tight end, and McCaffrey, the best player, not a quarterback, in the NFL. So that right there, and how he was taught in college was to be able to get the ball to your playmaker. So he understands his lack of uber ability, but he has uber confidence that playing his style that he can be a superstar.
Got it.
So he's going to be successful there. They are going to have him well coached up. Their offensive line is phenomenal. They've had nothing but success since he's been under. No, he is the real deal because of that. A lot of the NFL is situational. Where do I get drafted? What's the system? Do they have it or enough flexibility to play me in a system that hides my flaws and accentuates my skills and where I do have skills and my abilities and continue to groom me and develop me? Yeah. And that's the perfect situation in San Francisco where they're paying all those players. Now, it could change if they can't sign Ayuk. That would affect their passing game, but while he's on his first contract. Now, when we're doing this podcast in 3 years and they paying him $60 million, you're going to be like, hey, Chris, hey, I say, hey, now, that's a lot of money. That's a different conversation.
That is a different conversation,
but
brother.
Properly placed, properly trained, developed, yes, they will get the best out of him because they have one of the best coaching staffs and one of the best coaches in Kyle Shanahan in the NFL.
All right, so your guy, because Stephen A. Smith is your guy, he had Brady on and Manning on and asked them to give him the top 5 quarterbacks in today's game. Brady gave him 4. Mahomes 1. Allen 2. Lamar Jackson 3. Burrow 4. Manning went Mahomes. Then he went Burrow 2. He went with Justin Herbert 3. Lamar Jackson 4. And Josh Allen 5. If you had to pick top 5 guys today in the NFL, quarterbacks, who would they be?
I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Josh Allen.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Lamar.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go number 4, Joe Burrows.
Okay. Who'd be your 5th?
Matter of fact, I'm going to go Joe Burrows, number 3.
Okay. So Lamar 4.
Lamar, number 4.
Got it. Who's your 5th?
Aaron Rodgers.
Rodgers. How come Rodgers didn't make either one of those lists?
I don't know. Look at the bottom of the list. Look who I picked 5th and who they picked 5th.
They picked Josh Allen 5th. Brady wouldn't give him a 5th.
Okay.
For some reason. Maybe he didn't want to give him Rodgers. I don't know. He didn't give him a 5th. How come so you didn't pick the kid with the Chargers is interesting to me, right?
Yeah.
Like, you didn't pick him. Tom Brady didn't pick him.
I mean, he has top 10 talent, but he's been in the situation where he hasn't taken over and led the team like these other guys. Like, we're still betting on, he's going to do it compared to these guys have done it, man.
What's he not doing? Take over his team, lead his team?
Well, I would say that from an organizational standpoint, too, they've been bad defensively. They've been bad special teams-wise. So support him. Individually, he's been successful. But the way this game is judged is, can that guy on a given Sunday take over the game and get me over my shortcomings?
Got it.
And he has not been able to do that. Go on the road in the playoffs and win a game. Now, Lamar hadn't been able to do some of those things either, but he's been 2-time MVP.
Correct.
So that makes him so rare. Any list you're going to start, you got to have him on there.
Correct.
And to me, Aaron Rodgers, I believe the frame of mind that he came to New York with, the team he has, the accessories he has, running game, offensive line, wide receivers, defense, their schedule, I believe Aaron Rodgers has a huge chip on his shoulder, and we will see a historic performance from him.
You do.
With the Jets.
And Aaron Rodgers wants to win bad, right? I correct?
Absolutely. What else he
rabidly bad.
Yes.
So you said something earlier, and I was going to ask you about it, but I want to know because is he as smart as everybody says? He's that smart a dude, or
yes,
he is. He's that intelligent.
Yes.
Okay. So why? Because you mentioned that about his coach. I'm interested. He wants to win. Why is he, when he's moving these pieces and playing chess? Why is the deal with the coach the way it is? Like, why is it like, it's Robert, not the pot? Why is that? He's smart as shit. He's trying to help him. Where's that come from, you think?
There are, very, very talented people, and I would say the 1%ers, that there is like a little thing of, and you got it too. It's called rebellion.
Yeah, agreed.
It's called, I'm nice at this.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
It's called, I can get away with it.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
It's called, I will always test you.
Yeah.
Typically the most talented people, they do that to you. And I believe that is part of Aaron Rodgers, and you can't put people in a box as far as their personality, but that's part of the conflict that he has with himself, who he's going to be, just like the conflict that we all have with ourselves, who we're going to be, what we're going to be. And I think that, he's been battling that for a long time.
Got it. Still wants to win like crazy. That's just part of who Aaron Rodgers is.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just imagine if he wins with the Jets.
Oh, my God.
If he wins a Super Bowl with the Jets.
You think he's a diva now?
He would deserve to be a diva. Whatever
he deserves it now.
Whatever you need, bro.
All right, let's switch gears real quick.
Yeah.
Baseball. Aaron Judge. Love Aaron Judge. He's on pace to hit 60 homers this year. And there's only a handful of guys that have hit 60 in multiple seasons. The only handful of guys hit 60. So I want to read these to you. See, so Bonds hit 73 in 2001. Sosa hit 65 in 98, 67 in 99, 66 in 01. McGuire hit 70 in 98, 65 in 99. Judge had 62 in 2022, on pace to hit that this year. Roger Maris in 1961 had 61, and Babe Ruth had 60 in 1927. My question is, Aaron Judge is so unique to me, being a baseball guy, is his frame and to be able to hit the way he hits. Because you just don't, there's some dudes you've seen that tall over the course of time, but they've just never, I'm amazed by what he's able to do. Bonds, Sosa, McGuire, nobody disputes that they were juiced out of their minds, right? And there's nobody disputing that, or like they were using steroids, whatever else they got, whatever.
No one's disputing it but them.
Only I'm sorry, nobody but the individual. Everybody else in the world is like, yo, you're juiced up. But yes, nobody's disputing it but Bonds, Sosa, McGuire are disputing they're using steroids. Nobody else in the world is disputing they're using steroids. Or they were using steroids. Roger Maris in 1961, dude, I'm not like, they weren't throwing 100-mile-an-hour pitch. I'm just like, it wasn't 1927. I still respect the hell out of what Babe Ruth and Roger Maris did. If Aaron Judge continues to do this naturally, because I'm assuming they test everybody like crazy, we'd know if he was doing something.
Yeah.
Is he like the greatest power hitter of all time? Will he be? Should he be? Should these guys be in a conversation with him?
Right.
Bonds, Sosa, McGuire.
This is our problem in sports, and I hate this. As a society in sports, we always try to get ahead of the story. We always try to make someone great before they are. Oh, man, this guy is the best. This guy's it. But then when a guy really is legitimately great, we don't ask ourselves based on, you took a historic snapshot.
Yep.
These are the guys who have done this.
That's all I did.
Over the last 60 years. And you're basically asking the question, how special is this guy doing it in this era? Because it would have been special in the 60s, the 70s, 90s, 2000 when you talked about it. Like, it would have been special. So now this guy who has a once-in-a-lifetime baseball body. Like, there's no one in baseball
built like that doing that now.
ever. But I'm talking about there's guys the same height, there are guys the same weight. But I'm gonna tell you something. Okay, let's take it. Remember Dave Kingman?
Sure do.
Yeah. Even of recent, Alex Pujol.
Yeah.
Like
Dave Winfield's a big dude, tall guy. Yeah.
Dave Winfield was one of one. He was a super
100%.
athlete. But Dave Winfield, he's still not the athlete or the hitter Aaron Judge was.
No doubt.
Now, Dave Winfield all over, can play center field, got drafted in the NBA, got drafted in the NFL. Dave Winfield was a bad dude.
No doubt.
Okay, but Aaron Judge is him. I just like to recognize when him shows up, we don't try to discredit. No, this is what's getting ready to happen. He's going to be, we were fortunate to see Bonds. We were fortunate to see Socha. We were also fortunate to get the information on them. But even if we didn't, we will be talking about him in the same breath, and especially playing for the Yankees, bro. Like, this is what it's going to be. The Yankees, every 10, 20 years, have a legendary player that they bring from their farm system.
Yeah, they do.
And they ride him all the way up till he becomes, hey, man, that guy is special. And to me, that's who Judge has always been. And I do like the fact that in all sports, there's a level of depreciation to your ability based on height. Okay, let me explain this. Like, there's a prototype, especially in the NFL, for every position. Like, when they look at a center, there's a certain height they want him to be. There's a certain arm length they want him to be. Now, you can break the mold and play outside the mold, but they start with a prototype. Wide receiver, tight end, all of them. Now, Judge, he's beyond the prototype of what you want for a baseball player. For one is because his strike zone is so big. And then now they got all this launch angle. Like, how's a big guy like that going to be able to time it up and build it? Like, but his mechanics and the way he's put it together, like, he's him.
No doubt.
Like, he did it and is doing it. And this is not a matter of getting ahead of the story, the fame. This is following it accurately and been like, sometimes you got to give it up for people.
Correct.
When they do extraordinary things and able to repeat that you would have to go back. And I heard it last home run he hit. When he was rounding the base pass, they talked about Roger Maris. I said, okay.
Yeah.
All right, now, that's how, I mean, you're talking about 80 years, man. I mean, 60 years.
Yeah.
60 years.
Yeah.
Pretty significant.
So, is it, because I've said this, being, no matter what people, and I might be wrong, shit, I probably am, but it's my opinion. I think you can take whatever you want to take, and I still think that it's unfortunate that Bonds and some of these guys did, because they were Hall of Famers without it. That's Barry Bonds, I thought, pre that new body. I was like, just like watching him play the outfield.
He had two Hall of Fame careers.
He was, yes.
He had one before the roids and one after the roids.
But I still say, man, it still takes unbelievable talent to be able to do all these things, hit a ball going up fast, hit a ball moving like it's moving with the spin rate it has. But if Aaron Judge continues to do what he's doing and has all these, is it fair to compare them because he did it naturally? I mean, it seems like the answer is no, but I'm kind of like, did it affect it that much? We don't know. Is Chris Carter having a discussion about this, or Chris Carter going, hey, dude, Aaron Judge did it naturally. There's a bunch of other bad dudes. If they had the exact same stats, I'm going to do that. I mean,
they always have to be part of the backdrop. They always have to be part of the story. And I think that if narrated and talked about the right way, just like the people before them, like they didn't have the numbers, but also technology. Yeah. Just like golf, no different. They're hitting the ball further and everything.
Agreed, yeah.
Philosophy has changed.
Different. I agree with all that. Yeah.
But let's just talk about it on its own merit.
Got it.
And you're talking about you having multiple 60 home run seasons, and I mean, how many he's going to end up with? With his overall health and everything, 5, 6, like those things right there will stand alone in the conversation. But I think as a reference, it's always nice to talk about the greatest days in baseball as far as home run power And then now being able to do it naturally, and that power now matches up with that.
Right.
That's why I think it's significant.
I think what all these guys have done is amazing, because you look at who hit behind all of them and some dudes. But Aaron Judge, you don't got to throw him a lot to hit, man. Like, you ain't afraid. I mean, they will walk your ass with the bases low. Like, it's just – so I think it's not like they're this super team where you're like, dude, we got to throw to Judge because the guy behind him's got 58 home runs. It's like, no, we don't have that.
Right.
And the Yankees have had a lot of injuries with guys that were trying to protect Judge in the lineup. All right. Basketball. U.S. just won the Olympics, gold medal. And I want to know what your opinion is on, I think LeBron called it the team Avengers. Maybe, I don't know what he nicknamed the team they just won. I read Team Avengers, who knows. The Dream Team and this team. I know they can't play together. I know we can't. Mm-hmm. But is there an argument to be made? I thought the Dream Team was great. I thought it was the greatest team of all time. I was like, that's unbelievable. You know, I did grow up in that era. But from if we could close our eyes and we had a motherfucking time machine and they were both playing in their primes and playing by the rules of whatever, middle ground, how physical it is, is that a good game? Are these guys delusional?
No. I think it's a good game, but just like this is amazing that they're talking about it. But just like all other basketball conversations, like as you watch the Dream Team and as they play against France, and France is trying to make this a game.
Yeah.
Like, Victor, the sensation, 19-year-old first pick of the draft, Wembanyama, he's probably the 11th or 12th guy. He's Christian Laettner-ish.
On that team.
On that team.
Correct.
Okay? And if you want to boil it down to something even more simple, those games were exciting. But if you put Michael Jordan on any one of those other teams in the world, who gonna stop him?
Nobody.
Not on the Dream Team.
Nobody.
Like, didn't we have problems with Sudan?
Yes.
Okay.
Put
Michael Jordan. Okay, put Michael Jordan.
Yeah. The team today. Put him. Let anybody else in the world try to defend him.
Yes.
No shot. Ain't no trouble with no team if Michael Jordan's on your roster.
No. And this is probably what would have happened. When Steph Curry caught fire, guess what he's getting ready to catch? Either Pippen or Jordan.
Correct.
How that gonna go?
Not very good.
Okay, so, to me, we've been answering all these questions, GOAT, all that. Like, even the Dream Team, it still comes down to who are they gonna have guard him?
Nobody.
Now, I do think the Dream Team is better, but I do think that there's a conversation and a case for LeBron James, because LeBron James got MVP of the tournament.
Yeah.
And to me, this really added to his GOAT status, because he played defense, he rebounded, assist.
He was a hell of a leader of the team.
He really was. And to do, Michael Jordan at this time had been retired, and when you're reading two books and one book goes 5 extra chapters, but you just think, just because of length, they didn't have but the story is still good.
Right.
And then if he can happen to win number 5 championship got 3 different franchises, winning 5 championships, the conversation gets tighter.
Yeah.
Because you start doing stuff that, MJ, his cement's dry. He can't come back. Mm-hmm. And stuff that, that he's never done. Mm-hmm. So that continuing to play all NBA level, approaching season 22 at 39, that's GOAT status. Well,
first of all, love it. Appreciate you. Thanks for all the information. Hey, fullyloadedmerch.com. You want to get your shirts? Got a bunch of them on. They look good. Logo's good. Thank you for your support. Send this out. Like, subscribe, share. Get it out there. We have some amazing guest announcements this week that will drop on you. Give you the schedule. Let you know what's going on. Talk more NFL coming up. Predictions, college football, life in general. So, Chris Carter, appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, dog.
Thank you, man. See you guys.